And then notice, after scissors, your next best tool is your hands, your fingers, yeah? Because skin wants to stay attached, right? Because that's its job, is protection and all of that. So you really got to kind of pull it back, right? So then snip, snip, then pull, then snip, snip. It's just like preparing a chicken, people.
Yeah.
Right?
Like Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So like, coming up.
Like,
Yeah. So think about the turkey and, you know. Yeah. This is not a freak show, people. This is just, you know. Right? So see how I'm just kind of doing snip, snip, and then like loosen. Yeah? Now notice I'm pulling this, when I started, I pulled the skin up away from the body as much as I could. Because there are some superficial muscles here that we want to not damage. Right? So, pull up, snip, snip. Pull up, snip. Okay, once I get down to about where the tail is. Okay, now, other tools, I'm going to do one more little snip kind of up the back of the neck like that. Okay, so, while I'm pushing this down, let me talk about tools, okay? So, notice I'm using my hands a lot, right? You don't need to use tools when your hands will do the job, okay? So, scissors, we already talked about those. Easy to control. Forceps, we're not going to use them that much for this, but they're not tweezers, they're forceps, okay? There's a bunch of clamps over there which are completely useless. I don't know why they're there. Somebody uses them, I hate them. Don't use the clamps. We don't need them for anything. Okay, so forceps. This is, there's two different kinds of probes that are over there. There's these kind of spatula looking ones and then the pointy ones. There's also some stupid wood ones with a really pointy, skinny thing. I hate those. I don't use them for anything. I don't know who does. Don't use them. Okay, so the kind of spatula one and the kind of pointy one. These are really, really good for separating things that are super delicate where you want to like get in there, but you don't necessarily want to cut anything, right? You just kind of want to poke or tease things apart. Okay, that's what these are useful for. Okay, and then of course we have the scalpel. Sometimes my general sort of opinion about scalpels is you don't want to use them unless you need to use them. Right? So it's not the first tool you try, it's the tool you use when nothing else is going to get the job done. Okay? And the reason is that a scalpel, like a kitchen knife, will cut through everything. It's not specific about, you know, oh, it'll cut through muscle but not fat or whatever, right? It's very, it'll cut through anything. And so it's really, you only want to use a scalpel when you absolutely are clear on what you're doing. When you're trying to explore or like, I'm not really sure where the separation is, that's when you want to use things that are not sharp. So I'm going to try to pry this apart or whatever. Yeah? That's when you want to use tools that are not sharp. Much like kitchen knives, scalpels are safer when they're super sharp. As they get dull, they get much less safe, which sounds cut right here, right along the leg. And so notice I'm doing the same thing. I'm just putting the scissors underneath the skin and then I'm pulling around. Yeah? Okay, and I actually want to go a little bit, I want to go as close to the ankle as I can get, so, come on, dude, it's a boy or girl, I can't remember, boy, so dude was accurate, okay, there we go, bud. Does he have a name yet? No? Peter, well, that's very original, she said sarcastically. Okay, right? So see how I'm just, right, getting around the leg. Yeah, and then, well, you know, they got fur, so the fur holds the juice. Yep. So, yeah. So I got it off one leg. Okay. Now I'm going to do up around the head. So up to about the ankle is where you want to get it, right? Then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut around the neck. Yeah. And then I'm hitting arms, so I want to cut again.
Oh. Oh, that's funny.
And so for the arm, we can leave, so we leave like little socks on, right? We leave socks on the feet and socks on the arms. So you want to get it down to, you know, past the elbow, about to there or so.
You're going to do that shit, right?
Yeah. I don't mind cutting them up.
Okay. Yeah? So this side is done, so now I'm going to rotate around.
You want to do it, don't you?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, now, we want to cut around the tail, right? We want to leave skin on the tail. So I'm just going to go like this, and I'm going to do this leg the same way I did the other leg.
You don't want to do one?
These guys are actually way easier to skin than other. Cats are so hard to skin. Their skin is really tightly attached. And by the way, if you've got like an older male, they often have a lot of connective tissue and they're like super tough. This guy is pretty young, I can tell, because he's not, he's pretty easy. Right, so like I said, I'm getting right around to the ankle or so, and I'm
like
pulling that skin off.
Don't it look like a quarter leg? Piece of chicken. Quarter leg? That's a trip.
Okay, so good. Now I gotta do this arm. So see, this doesn't really take that long. I mean, it's taking me longer because I'm, you know, giving you guys the play-by-play, right? But it really doesn't take too long to do this, right? So it is juicy though, hence the reduce splashage a little bit. Okay.
So those napkins that like are soaked go in the bucket?
Go in the bucket, yep. Anything that's just like saturated goes in the bucket. If it's a paper towel that you dry your clean hands with, it doesn't need to go in the bucket. Alright, because we don't want to like fill up the bucket with stuff that doesn't need to go in there. Okay, so once again, just a little bit past the elbow and then... Okay, so anymore, right? And then I'm going to... Come on. There we go. Right? Get my scissors in here. And I'm just going to cut around the stapled area.
What did they do right there?
So they cut it open so that they could get into the digestive area, to where the digestive organs are, so that they could put yellow latex in the hepatic portal system, which we'll talk about when we talk about cardiovascular system. Okay? So I'm basically just cutting around the staples rather than trying to like take the staples out. Whatever. Okay? And so once again, I'm lifting up so that you don't want to cut down, right? You just want to cut through the skin. You don't want to cut through the muscles because they're right there, right? So notice how I'm using my scissors kind of flat like that when I'm cutting. So I'm just getting the skin, okay? And then the last thing that you need to know about when you're doing the belly side is you've got to be careful with the chest muscles, because the chest muscles, yeah, so see that's completely separated from the stapled area, okay? If you pull off the skin this way, something that tends to happen is you tend to just rip off all the chest muscles, okay? So once you've got the back completely done, once you've got the arms and legs done, once you've got the stapled area done, right, then you want to go at the neck and work your way down, from neck down, okay? So that you don't accidentally rip off the chest muscles. And so if you do it this way, it's not a problem at all, right? And so you might have to do another little, right, to get it away from his head. Right? And so see how I'm just pulling it down. There's going to be some things that kind of get stuck in the armpit. Just rip it. It's fine. I mean, rip it gently, but rip it. Okay? Right? And just keep going. Yeah? So see how I'm just working my way down? Okay. The last tricky thing is, particularly if you have a male, and most of you have males. There's only, I think, 2 females in here. We have to be careful about his genitals. We don't care about them yet because we're working on muscles right now, but we are going to care about them when we get to the reproductive system. And so we want to keep them there. We don't want to accidentally rip anything off. Okay? So,
we're going to come back and look at them?
we're going to do the whole bunny. Right? We're just doing muscles to begin with, okay? So I get down to about there, and then we got to figure out where his bits and pieces are, okay? So rabbits, they're so weird, you guys. Like the first time I looked at a male rabbit, I was legit, and this was like last summer, I was legit, okay? His testes are in front of his penis.
What?
I know. It's weird, right? They're like, I don't know why they keep them there. And they're kind of, for their body size, they're pretty big, right? So these are pretty impressive, right? They don't have a lot of fur on them, right? Notice they're kind of bald compared to the rest of him, right? And so we want to leave all of this alone for now, right? We'll investigate this further later. But for now, we're just worried about muscles, so we're going to leave this alone. So once you get around your leg, what I do is I just kind of go, I take the skin, and I just cut, give it a wide berth, right? And just cut all the way around all of that so that you don't accidentally, like, rip off something. You don't want to rip off a testis, man. Okay? Your rabbit won't appreciate it. Yeah? So give a wide area. If you have a female, right, you don't need to... Huh. That's really weird. Okay, you guys are going to want to be really careful with the stuff that's in here because it's kind of interesting. But anyway, if you have a female, you don't have to worry so much. But wide area, okay, around his bits and pieces, right? And then, ta-da!